Greetings, fellow mayors. This is Captain Obvious, and welcome back to the Masterclass series for new and veteran players to help improve their city building and city management skills.
And we have returned to Hanami Bay. And just to recap the previous episode, what we did was we added our third industry, which is the oil industry, right over here, which is generating a lot of income for the city. So if we take a look specifically of how much it is generating, right here, well, for now it says 3,000, but it does spike up. And let's take a closer look at our setup here. However, you can see that we are importing, which should not be. So I am going to fix this. So the import might be coming into here because it's filling in. So in order to counter that, what I'm going to do is I'm just simply going to add more extractors. So let's go ahead and extend this, and we will simply just add a few more of the largest extractors. So I've extended that, and let's go find the largest extractor, which is the what is this? The oil rig, yeah, large drilling oil rig. So we're just gonna add it there, and again, make sure that it is facing outside the road. So you don't want like a road sticking out. So speaking of which, let's go ahead and delete and redo this. Okay, so this should help reduce that import. So let's take a look now. Yep, it's slowly reducing. We will just have to wait, give it a little while. Let me trim this a little bit. Okay, oh, we have some space here. So let's try to add like some of the tiny ones. Let's see if this one's perfect. There we go. There's some little cracks on the terrain. Let's see if we could help remove it, or at least try to hide it. Yeah, I suppose that will do. Okay, let's take one more look to see. Yep, it is definitely reducing, and our profit is also increasing. So now it's 35,000. So I think we can close this for the meantime. And here is again the look of our oil industry. So again, the flow is they extract and they come into our processing buildings. Then they do their thing, and they would exit out of the city, and if ever they can just enter in. But of course, this again is temporary, and we're gonna create our own interchange here. And speaking of which, let's go ahead and check our traffic flow. Traffic flow is at 92%. So if we look at this again, this traffic here should not even exist, especially when we start putting in our new interchange on this side, and it will accommodate all four industrial areas. And again, we are going to relocate this on this side as well. So my plan was to put in our fourth and final industrial area, which is ore. However, when I look at this side of the city, I see this large hole that really needs to be filled in. So I think we're just gonna go back into detailing. So now, but before I do this, you notice that the buildings are leveling up. And so when they get to the fifth level, they will, of course, get taller. But what I like to do is I like to make the outskirts as historical buildings so they do not grow. And the only ones that I want to grow is the ones inside. So if you look at it, or if you try to imagine, the inner side or the inner buildings will be tall, while it's going to create like a step ladder going downwards, or a triangle or a pyramid. And that's the idea that I have, because if you have too many tall buildings, it starts to look a little funky. Now for this one, how do you decide what building to put? So when it comes to your focus building or your point of interest, you want the building to be taller but not too tall, right? It has to be proportional. So I am going to search for an appropriate building. Let's go for, okay, this one looks decent. The height looks good. So I'm just going to slap it on this side, try to make it center as much as possible. And now we need a building on two sides. So, but first, let's go ahead and do our road layout here. So since this is going in that direction, let's find a a road to kind of split it in the middle. So this looks like it's correct. So I'm gonna make it go here. Then I will, we need a road on this side. Okay, I'm pretty aware that I am using the wrong road type, but this looks like a good starting. Let's go ahead and upgrade these roads. And we also need this road to go to the right. And now we can attach some buildings here. Let me see if I could put something in between. Okay, that looks about right. And of course, I'm going to slap in our favorite parking lots. Let's make it face in that direction. Okay, looking good so far. And of course, this thing we can also connect. All right, looking good. So we need two buildings on the one on the left and one on the right. So this one is way too tall, right? I'm going to reserve this for when we start to build on this side. So we're not gonna be utilizing this one, but something a little shorter. Okay, I think this works. Yep, it's tall enough, but not too tall. So we are gonna go with this. And now all I need to do is kind of decorate all around it. So let's go ahead and continue our pattern here by putting in our gates and whatnot. And of course, all I need to do now is just extend the trees to make it continue. Okay, and the trees here in the middle, we could also upgrade this, which is really cool. So I believe it's this tree. Yeah, there you go. Nice. Okay, let's go ahead and design the inner parts of our tram station. So here I'm gonna try to use some parks. So for instance, this tiny park. So these tiny parks have variations, and I like its current format. So you have this one, tiny pond. You got a little vegetation there. You got a little park here. I think I want to go for this one, the gazebo. And now we just need to design this part. Wait, I just realized instead of just one, why not put another for the other side? So I'm going to place one here and also on this end. It seems like it's not really centered, or it doesn't have the same length, but that is okay. I mean, we're already here. We can't change it anymore. All right, so now let's go ahead and put in other assets. So I'm gonna try for this one. Just a reminder, all assets are from DLCs. So none of this is from the workshop. And we're gonna use some decals. So as much as possible, you kind of just want to design one side so that you can duplicate to the other. So with that, let me add in more assets here. Yep, I think this will suffice. So let's go ahead and try to duplicate to the other side. Okay, that is looking pretty decent. I like it. So let's go ahead and kind of finish up this side. Okay, this is looking pretty decent. Yeah, I like it. Some gazebos, people are passing through. Okay, now let's do the inner part. So since we have all of these medium-sized trees, let's try to go for something smaller and something with color. So I'm gonna try for these trees. Okay, I think we have done everything that we could, or we pretty much filled in all the space here. And I like the results that we have here. We got some nice parking. And now all I need to do is kind of fix up the other sides. So now if you remember, I made these little tiny gaps so that it's just not like completely flush, just to make it a little more different. And I gave this little layout so that when you're passing through here, you know, it's a little more unique instead of just having corner buildings. So I'm going to go ahead and continue this format. All right, so when we have a closer look at that, it looks more interesting. I do say so myself. And if we find any gaps in the middle, for instance, this, I will just simply create a path going through. Okay, I think we finally finished the whole thing. I think we sacrificed a... Yep, so this will have to rebuild, but that's okay. So I think it's this thing. It was a little too far. Let me try to mend this by recreating the road or just upgrading it. There you go. There she is. Now I can just rezone that, and that will fill in eventually. So now we just have this little space here to deal with. In order to occupy this part, I'm just going to extend the road ever so slightly. And the things that you need to remember when you're creating new districts is you still have to provide the essentials, for instance, death care. And another thing is garbage. So I'm going to add in this recycling center. I'm going to put it over here where it will not affect our citizens. So I'm just going to make sure I'm not going to put in we will not put in residential here. Instead, I'm going to zone in some offices actually. So let's add some office here. And for this, since this is cracked, I'm going to find another building that I could occupy the space with, something a little larger. There you go. This feels, or this looks about right. And we could also add in our commercial on this end, and on this side we're gonna kind of do the same thing. Let's see if we can occupy this side. Okay, that is looking good. I placed this one here because there were cracks, and let's go ahead and just add in some commercial. We could even mix in some offices actually. Okay, looking good. And lastly, we just need to fill this area with some trees. I think we've used enough of this, and the format is for this one. So let's find a smaller tree. So tree of leaves of version 1. So these trees also match the trees within the cemetery itself. Okay, I like this. Let's go ahead and fix this side. All right, this is pretty decent. Yep, we have filled in that one. And lastly, this one here, we need to kind of finalize. Okay, so here we need a way to fill in this area and also everything here. I'm going to redo our road so it looks a little more so everything would kind of squeeze in better. First, let's relocate this. I can put it here, and then we want to extend this one, and I think I will make it kind of close here, so I don't have a guide on the other side. So I'm just going to pretty much eyeball this, and I'm gonna cut this one. Okay, this looks like this will work. And now I just need to figure out how to do this side. Okay, so I relocated this one, which requires a tram track. Let's make sure we add that before all our trams kind of bug out. Okay, that should be good. And let's go ahead and continue reorganizing our road here. So here's our guide going to the other side. Let's try to mix in some office buildings. So I'm gonna place some on this end. And here I'm aware there's noise pollution. So yeah, so you can see the red circle, and so we're gonna avoid putting residential on this side. So let's just go ahead and add in some offices. Okay, I like that. And let's just fill in the other areas with trees, and we should be done with this area. Now, as for this, let's just do a hard zone. So we'll just put in the zone area first so we can have a visual, because I know that um, we need to change the terrain. And there you go, as I mentioned. So we need to extend this so it doesn't appear. So I'm just gonna flatten, and then I'm gonna extend it this far. And then all I need to do is smoothen it out. Okay, there we have it. So eventually that will all fill in. So as you can see, we have some garbage issues, but it's gonna be taken care of. And let's see what we can do on this end, because this side is pretty open. Okay, this works so far. Um, let's take a closer look at what we have made. So this is our new tram station here. So we got a nice little park. Got some short stone walls. A lot of people coming in. This is also kind of cool going in here. And lastly, let's go ahead and add a bus stop. So it's gonna go from this side going to this side of the district. So I'm going to put one over here, and it's gonna go to our hospital, and it's going to rotate to this side. Let's let it go here. Then it's gonna reach all the way to here. Then it's gonna start to slowly go back. Let's put stops in other locations. Okay, there is our first route. So this is not like a complete loop. Let's do one for going the other direction. All right, there we go. Now we have our second loop. And before we forget, we need to change the bus type. So if you notice, it's color coordinated. So I have purple here, red is going on this side, red is on this side of the map, and then this blue one, I think I will keep it blue. Yeah, so blue will be buses, and it's taking over this side. Yeah, so it's not just that I like the color red, but I do have color coordination, so I know where they're actually going. Yeah, so this area is red, and this is purple, and I guess this is blue. Let's take a closer look at the little things that we did here. So if we're going through here, then instead of just more buildings, we have a little fence with trees. Of course, if you go on this side, right, it's looking a little more different, a little more unique. Through here, yep. This is a very nice journey when you're walking or driving through. Wow, our buses. Oh, one thing I did not change was the bus type. Let's check. So the capacity of this 30, and then we have like 100 people, so maybe we'll make it up to 60. So let's find a 60. I like this double-decker bus. Let's use a square type. No, actually this one, a little rounded. So this is bus line 4. We just need bus line 3, and we will change this as the rounded double-decker bus. All right, so now they'll have to go back to the station and change vehicles. Nevertheless, yep, this is our build. We finally filled in this area. So I do have plans of developing on this as well, but that will require a DLC, so I'm going to hold off on that. But now, as we look out, our vision is slowly coming to pass. We have our low rise here, medium, and you can see our buildings here are rising with some high density mixed in with offices. And here I also like the thickness of this in terms of blocks. It's not too big. It's not, if it had a third one of this same height, it's gonna seem a little too much. So I think 2 blocks is pretty good, and then with some commercial on the outskirts. Yep, so this looks pretty darn good. The height of this is also adequate. It's not too tall. Some of the buildings are around this tall. But yeah, this is looking pretty nice. We have a nice corner here, a bridge that goes across. Our buses are settling in, more or less. So that would just take a hot minute. And let's check our traffic flow. It's at 88. Where is our traffic generating from? Yep, it's again this one. Again, we do not worry about this because this doesn't exist after we develop our interchange there. And lastly, let's go ahead and check how this one is doing. So we now have zero imports and 28,000 profit, more or less. So our industrial area, or I mean oil industry, is doing fantastic. Oh, the other thing that I noticed is this side. We have this little tiny area that we could develop, and I also have this path to eventually go there. So I'm gonna have to kind of decide what should be there. So that will be fun as well, and also filling in this side.